Okay, welcome back, and we're looking at a level 2 sample spreadsheet here from an OCR paper. So this is just a standalone video talking you through a spreadsheet, okay, and how it's put together. So as mentioned before, with OCR, a lot of the time is when you come to your spreadsheets, you have to copy and paste information across from a Word document they give you into a spreadsheet. So again, just simply achieve that. All we do is highlight the information we need, like so. Right click with our mouse, click and copy. Click on paste, and so, like so. And the information will be copied in. It's like that. Okay. So we now need to add a bit of extra information, but before we do that, we notice everything's a little bit crunched up. So if I just go like so, like so, like so, just in between the little lines, with the mouse double click, with this little arrow sign, vertical line, it spaces everything out. So we know next task, because they give us a list of tasks they want to do, and if they actually say in OCR test use ICT to calculate, generally as a rule it's going to be Excel. So now our next task is that we need to compile a column that shows houses burgled. Okay. So I'm just going to create a new column. And again, this is live, so anything can happen as I'm doing this. As you notice that, slight error on the burgled. Word I never seem to be able to spell very well. There we go. And we notice, oh, hang on a second, the lines come out here. It's a bit too big, so I'll just do a little trick there. Okay, now a little thing with Excel, when you're going to do percentages, but before we go any further, I just want to make sure that what I'm going to type in here is the same font, because notice it's a little bit different. If I just go here, click on Format Painter, little painting brush sign, and what I'll do is I'll just do that, and that will now make sure my font is exactly the same as every other column. I'll just double click again like so. Right, so we now need to put percentages in. Right, and the trick with Excel, you don't do percentages like you actually would in a maths test, for example. You have to do a little bit of staging first. So what I'm going to do here, this is where my percentages are going to go. I highlight that column, I'm at home, I go to general, and what I do is I come here down here, tell Excel put it into percentages straight away. Right? Because if I don't, when I come to the sum, it will come up with lots of large, scary looking figures. This is the way of making it simple for ourselves. So highlight column, go to home, general, select percentage like I did just there. Okay, and this is going to help you. Now the sum we've got to do, they've given us a tip. They normally do in the papers. For each region, the percentage of house burgled is the houses burgled but divided by the total houses. Okay, here we go. Here's my sample formula down here. So again, equal sum. I'm starting now to tell Excel what I want it to do. I do my brackets. I now need to put my destination cells, and now I can either type them in or simply do so. Put my division sign in, which is a little oblique sign down the bottom right hand side of the keyboard near the shift key. Remember, if it was plus, I put the plus sign in up by the backspace key. If it was minus, that's right next door to the 0 key. Or if it was multiplication, I would select the asterisk on the number 8 key, because we have columns X on Excel spreadsheets, and X doesn't work as a part of equation unless it's referring to a column. So here we go. I've done my oblique. I've done my next part, which is here. Next cell, close my brackets, and my percentage is put in. So then all I need to do is just come down like so, and all the percentages are now added in. Okay, so what we now need to do is do some sorting, because we're going to be doing a chart shortly. And this is where sometimes it's useful to read ahead a little bit on the question so you can see what's coming up. So somewhere along the line we're going to have to do a chart of houses burgled from 1.5% upwards. So to get ourselves set up for this, we need to do a sort and filter. So I'm leaving my column highlighted on percentage of houses burgled. I'm going to sort and filter and say largest to smallest. Now, it will come up with expand selection or continue with the current selection. Let me just show you something. If I just went with that, watch all the figures. Only column D changes, which we want. So I'm just going to go back. Okay. And let me just check we have got that. Good. Let me just go back a step and I'll just make sure I have cleared everything down. So there we go. So here we go. I've got my column D. Now I'll go back to my sort and filter, largest to smallest, expand the selection. Now watch everything. Okay, everything to the left as well as that column. Everything changes to what we want. Brilliant. Okay, so before we go any further, let's just tidy this up a bit. So we make sure everything's aligned, looks nice and tidy. Obviously it doesn't have to look fancy, keep it plain and simple. This is a test. You're not going to be doing this immaculately as you might do for your manager. You need just to prove that you actually can do basic spreadsheet functions. Okay, and you see you've just flicked through there. Self-explanatory really. Play that back if you're not sure. Okay, and what I've done is I've just nicely tidied everything up. There we go. Looks a bit neater and tidier now. And I suggest you always make sure you do a bit of neat and tidying. And don't forget as well that you need to put your name in the footer. So insert, header footer, footer, I go to that one. Okay, and then you type your name in. Okay, I type my name in thus here. Okay, come back up. Oh, hang on, my spreadsheet's changed. It looks a bit worrying. Okay, don't. Go to view, normal, everything gets back. Don't worry about the little dotted line down here, that just indicates a page break. You won't get penalised for that. So we now need to complete a chart. Basically highlight Cornwall down to Cornwall on our chart here and indicate from houses 1.5% upwards. Okay, so what we do is I'm just going to highlight here, keep my Control key pressed, come down to here, insert, recommended charts. Oh, okay, don't worry about that, that happens. It means you haven't highlighted something correctly. Don't worry about it, just click on OK, come back out. We'll just do it again because I might have just highlighted a box randomly. Let me just double check, because sometimes you have a box that's highlighted over here, you can throw it out, and there we go, it works. So we can have that one, or we can have that one. Let's have this one. Okay. But again, if that happens like it did there, it just comes up, doesn't recognise the charts, just double check you haven't actually got a square highlighted down here, because that can throw it out. Just go back and double make sure you've got everything highlighted here. You might have got region highlighted where you didn't need it, percentage of houses burgled. Okay. It might be just had an extra cell in you didn't need to highlight. Okay. So let's give it a title, and we're going to call it percentage of houses burgled. I'm sorry, I just need to take a little time because I do get the word burgled wrong quite frequently. And there we go. There's a whistle stop tour through a level 2 spreadsheet. Again, play it back at your leisure, put it on slow speed because you can slow the YouTube down a little bit. Might make my voice sound a bit deep, but it'll work. And just play it through a few times and hopefully you can settle in. But don't forget, of course, we do have the lesson sessions where we go through spreadsheets as well. So if you've got any questions, feel free to ask them in those sessions. Okay, thank you for your time.